Good morning, everyone. So the last video that I posted, I said that I was going to do a video on the best brooder setup that I've ever had. And I truly have to say that after 2 weeks of having my chicks, this really is the best brooder setup that I've ever had. But I cannot take credit for it. I actually got this idea from Oak Abode. She has her own YouTube channel, and that is the name of it, Oak Abode. And I have to thank her because I've learned so much from her about chicks. Up until 2 weeks ago, I was not a chick owner. I was a duck owner. And I love my ducks. Ducks are awesome. They definitely lay me a bunch of eggs, but these girls are going to lay me a lot more. So I definitely had a lot to learn about chicks though. You know, chicks and ducks are very similar. They eat the same things. They both need water, but there's things that ducks need that chicks don't, and things that chicks need that ducks don't. So I have to thank her for all the information that she helped me learn. So thank you very much. And once you guys leave here, you're definitely going to have to go over to her channel and check it out. Again, that's Oak Abode. So I'm kind of getting off topic, but anyway, this brooder setup is the best one I've ever had. I will probably never ever use a 50-gallon Rubbermaid container for a brooder ever again. I will probably always use this. This tent, this pet tent, I got off of Amazon. It was like $27, the best $27 I've ever spent. It works wonderfully. It actually has a lid that zips shut, which is awesome because chicks dig in their bedding and, you know, trying to scratch around for food, and pine shavings fly everywhere. And when they get their flight feathers, they tend to fly all over the place, and they have like little flying races with each other and stuff. So it helps keep them in, and it keeps the pine shavings in, which is great. And I love that. It is waterproof, and I've tested that theory. my toddler, she's 3, and she was trying to get a chick out one day, and she actually knocked the water into the bedding, and it made a big mess. And it made a mess in the brooder, but it definitely did not make a mess all over my floor. And obviously, you can see we're in my house. So the fact that it's waterproof is a total upside. So yes, so it is waterproof. It does have the zip lid, which is awesome. Again, I will drop the links to everything I'm using below and in the description. And then that way, if you guys want to purchase any of these items, you can do it yourself. So again, this pet tent, great find. It was on Amazon. It works wonderfully. It is waterproof. I love it. So the other thing that I'm using this year is a brooder heater plate, and I love this brooder heater plate. It is awesome. The chicks really seem to like it. It's like a mama hen, so it makes them feel safe, and they lay under it, and they can hide if they want to. I will say that the only downside to this brooder plate is the fact that the chicks like to jump on top of it, which you saw a few seconds ago, and they roost on the top of it and walk around on it and lay on it, and they poop all over it. So every few days you'll definitely have to clean the top of the brooder heater off, just because it gets pretty nasty. So I really love the brooder heater though. It works great. I love the fact that I don't have to use a heat lamp. Heat lamps make me so nervous. I hated using a heat lamp with my ducklings. I lost sleep, and everybody needs sleep. I was up all the time in the middle of the night checking to see if the heat lamp had fallen, or if it was too close to something and could catch something on fire, or, you know, all these scenarios run through your mind with a heat lamp. So, and then every time I left the house, it was the same thing. I'd be in the car wondering, wow, I wonder if that heat lamp fell, or I hope it didn't fall, you know, or I hope it's not touching anything, or I hope it's not too close to the ducklings. So, you know, it was always like this thing in the back of my mind that I like could not relax about. So the fact that I'm not using a heat lamp is amazing. I will say this though, that if you plan on keeping your chicks or ducklings in your garage or your barn, and it is cold outside, I would suggest using a heat lamp to supplement their heat in this area, because this area is big, and you know, they're gonna get chilled while they're out here. So you know, the brooder heater underneath it is plenty warm for them, but when they're out here and they're drinking and eating, they're going to get chilled. And, you know, you're going to lose chicks or ducklings because they're going to get too cold, especially if they're in an outside environment like a garage or a barn. I have my chicks in my house because we're in Ohio and it is still too cold outside in the evening and even sometimes during the day right now. Like today it's only 50 degrees outside. So, and at night it's like in the 30s. So it's definitely too cold to have my chicks or my ducklings for that matter outside in the barn or the garage. So I keep mine in the house and that way I don't have to worry about them getting too chilled. So if you are going to keep your chicks or your ducklings in your barn or your garage, I do suggest also supplementing their heat with either another brooder or I really would suggest a heat lamp just because, you know, when they're out eating, they're going to get chilled. So it's definitely a good idea to just, you know, make sure that you're supplementing their heat because you're going to lose them. You're going to lose them if they're not warm enough. So I do really love the brooder heater. It is awesome, especially for the setting that I'm using it in. But, you know, like I said, if you're going to use it in a barn or a garage, I definitely would supplement their heat with some other kind of heat source as well, like a heat lamp. So moving on. I love the brooder heater. I am just using regular chick feeders that you can find at any farm store or feed store like Tractor Supply or Rural King, or I'm sure you could even find them on Amazon. I have them sitting on little plastic Rubbermaid containers, and I did that because chicks like to dig in their food, and even when it's in a feeder, they still try to do it, and the feed comes out. Now I will say that chicks tend to clean up their mess and they'll still eat it off the ground, but this way it keeps the food in the feeder longer if you have it up on top of a container or something. So I really like to set mine up on these containers. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but it works well for me. So we're using Purina Chick Starter, medicated chick starter. Make sure if you're doing chicks that it is medicated. They definitely need that medicated chick starter. If you're doing ducklings, do not get medicated chick starter. They should not have medicated chick starter. You can do regular chick starter, or you can even do duckling starter, but I can't ever find it at our feed stores. It's not something that a lot of feed stores carry. So you can do just regular chick starter, and then just you want to add some brewer's yeast to their feed every time that you fill up their feeders, because brewer's yeast has niacin in it, and ducklings need niacin and chicks don't. Ducklings need niacin to help their bones develop, and so you want to add brewer's yeast. So make sure that if you're getting ducklings that you get some brewer's yeast to add to their chick starter. So the water that we're using is not a regular chick water. I previously have used regular chick waters, and now ducklings, I hated the regular chick water with my ducklings because they made an absolute mess with it. It was awful. I was changing bedding in our brooder almost every day because of the mess that they were making. So I went with a different water this year for my chicks because I wanted to minimize my mess, and it really has. So at first I was using a regular chick starter, a chick water when I first got them because my new water hadn't come yet, and then it got here. So I switched over to it. So I will say that it came with two little attachments for drinking. One was like a little bowl that had like a button in the back of it that they pushed with their beak, and it made the bowl fill up with water, and then they drink the water. I didn't put that one on at all. I actually put the nipple drinker attachment on because I felt like they'd be able to figure that one out easier, and they did. It was like that. They got it. It was no big deal. They took to it really quickly, and I haven't had any problems with it. I will say that when I get chicks or ducklings, I always add Save a Chick Electrolyte and Save a Chick Probiotic. You can mix both of these together in a 1-gallon container, which is what I do. I usually use a milk carton. I just rinse it out, and then I pour these in and mix it up. And I use this for the first week sometimes 2 weeks. It just depends. And then I discontinue use. And it just kind of helps them get through the stress of being shipped, or however it is that you get your chicks. It helps give them energy, and it just helps them through the first week of their life, which is usually pretty stressful, especially if you're ordering them through the mail. Now my chicks, I actually went and picked them up from a local hatchery here in Ohio, which was really cool. It was awesome. I didn't have to go to the post office or wait for that really early morning phone call saying, oh, your chicks are at the post office, come pick them up. So, which was really cool. So we went and picked our chicks up at the hatchery, which was really cool. So I definitely would say save a chick. I swear by it. I had a duckling a couple years ago that he was not doing well. He wasn't eating when I first got him, and I really thought I was going to lose him. And save a chick electrolytes and a hard-boiled egg yolk mashed up is how I got him through, and he ended up being just great. And he's one of our ducks now that we love. His name is Peanut, and he is awesome. So it was really cool that I was able to get him to pull through, and he started eating and growing, and he did great. So I will say that Save a Chick is awesome. Make sure that you definitely get some Save a Chick before you get your chicks. It will help your babies a lot. So that being said, I will say that this brooder setup absolutely is the best brooder setup I've ever had. I love it. It's been great. The mess is completely minimized. And the chicks, I mean, as you can see, they absolutely love this brooder heater. They're all underneath it and sleeping. So I think that this setup has been awesome. And hopefully, if you decide to go with the same brooder setup, you think that it is too. But I will never go back. Never, ever, ever. I think this is awesome. So if anybody has any questions or comments about something that maybe I forgot that I should have in my brooder, or you think I should have in my brooder, please let me know. If you have any questions about ducklings or chicks, I can definitely answer any questions you have about ducklings. I've had them for several years now, and I feel like I've experienced pretty much everything I can with them. Chicks, I'm new to, but I can try my best to answer it. I've read lots of books, so if I can't answer it, I'll try my best to give you direction as to where to look up that information. So, but yeah, I definitely love this brooder setup, and I think that you will too if you are looking to get chicks or ducklings. So again, if you guys have any questions, please drop them below. I'm going to link everything below in the description. So if you guys want to purchase these items for yourself, for your own chicks or your own ducklings, you can. And don't forget to hit that subscribe and that bell so that you don't miss anything. And as always, thank you so much for watching Hilltop Acres Farm. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day.